Okay, children, now the third part of circulatory system. We are going to do the heart. Heart is a pumping organ. Children, remember location of heart. It is in the thoracic cavity, okay, between the two lungs. That is the location of the heart. The heart has a covering which is called pericardium. The pericardium has two layers. Between the two layers, there is a fluid called pericardial fluid. Now, what is the function of this pericardial fluid? Somebody comes and punches me जोर से on my chest. The pericardial fluid acts as a shock absorber. It also acts as a lubricant whenever the heart beats, so that there is no friction between the pericardial layers. Pericardial layers, yeah. The upper two chambers are called atria or auricles. The lower two chambers are called ventricles. Remember, ventricles are more thicker than atria because ventricles have to pump blood to all parts of the body. Atria are mainly receiving chambers. Ventricles are propelling or pumping chambers. So there is right atrium. It's very difficult in such a condition for me to draw the heart and show you. So please understand with the help of this. Right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. Between right atrium and left atrium, there is a septum or a partition, interatrial septum. Similarly, between the two ventricles, interventricular septum. What is the use of this partition? There is no connection over here between the two atria, between the two ventricles, because the entire right side of the heart has deoxygenated blood. The entire left side of the heart has got oxygenated blood. So always remember this. So this oxygenated, deoxygenated should not mix with each other. Okay, so that's the reason why. Now, valves. There is a valve between right atrium and right ventricle. Okay, here there's a valve, and there's a valve between left atrium and left ventricle. The valve between right atrium and right ventricle, there it has got three flaps, so it's called tricuspid valve. Right side pe tricuspid, left side pe bicuspid, two flaps. It's also called mitral valve. It is called mitral valve. So between right atrium and right ventricle, there is tricuspid valve, and between left atrium and left ventricle, bicuspid or mitral valve. What is the function of this valve? It prevents backflow of blood. So when ventricles are contracting, blood should not go into the atria. So that's the function of the valve. Okay. Now, I tell you what vessel, how does blood circulate to the heart? Children, please listen to me very carefully. Okay. Now, blood is going to all the parts of the body. Okay. Oxygen is being used by the tissues, so it is got converted to deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body comes into the right atrium, enters the right atrium, okay, through the superior and inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava, also called anterior vena cava. Inferior vena cava, also called posterior vena cava. So superior and inferior vena cava get deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body into the right atrium. Superior vena cava from the upper part of the body, inferior vena cava from the lower part of the body. Please children, don't use the word impure blood. It is deoxygenated blood. It is got into the right atrium. Okay, from the right atrium the blood goes into the right ventricle. Now, since it is deoxygenated blood, where will that blood go? Yes, it will go to the lungs. So deoxygenated blood goes from the right ventricle to the lungs because it is going away from the heart. A for away, A for artery. It is taken out by an artery to the lungs. Lungs, any other word for lungs? Yes, pulmonary. Pulmonary is another word for lungs. So deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle will go to the lungs by the pulmonary artery, only artery carrying deoxygenated blood. Then it goes to the lungs. Lungs convert that blood into oxygenate because it's diffusion of gases. So we'll put oxygen into the blood. It has become oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood from the lungs will enter the left atrium through 4 pulmonary veins. Okay, only veins carrying oxygenated blood. So oxygenated blood from the lungs into the left atrium will come by 4 pulmonary veins. Left atrium, the oxygenated blood goes into the left ventricle. From the left ventricle, you need a big artery to carry it to different parts of the body. Which is that big artery? aorta. The name of that artery is aorta. Okay, just like there are valves over here, tricuspid and bicuspid valves. At the opening of the aorta and the pulmonary artery into the ventricle, there are also valves. Okay, three valves each, and they are called semi-lunar valves because they look like the half moon. So semi-lunar valves, opening of the aorta and the pulmonary artery into the ventricles. Remember, so they are guarding them. So these about the valves. In the valves, no, inside the valves there are cord-like structures called chordae tendineae. Okay, I'll say chordae tendineae. Okay, these cord-like structures, they prevent overturning of the valves. Okay, they prevent damage to the valves when the ventricles are in contraction. The heart muscles, you know, cardiac muscles. Heart is giving oxygenated blood to all parts of the body, but heart muscles themselves require oxygen, isn't it? But who will give oxygen to the muscles of the heart? Yes, the name of that artery is coronary artery. It's a branch of aorta itself. Okay, coronary artery. Coronary artery is the artery which gives oxygen to the muscles of the heart. Okay, so that's coronary artery. Now, if there is deposition of fat or if there is some blockage due to a clot, due to fat, cholesterol, if there is blockage in the coronary artery, initially the person starts having chest pain. Okay, there is chest pain, and this chest pain is called angina pectoris. Angina is pain, pectoris is pectoral region, chest region. So there is chest pain. This is angina pectoris. But if you take a tablet or if you take a rest for sometimes this pain goes away. But if the person does not change his diet, does not change his lifestyle, if the blockage continues, more cholesterol is deposited and severe blockage, there will be deadening of heart muscles. Okay, you will not immediately die, but there will be deadening of heart muscles. Why? Because it's blocking the blood supply of coronary artery, so no oxygen going to the cardiac muscles, so part of the heart will start dying, so deadening of cardiac muscles, and this is called heart attack, children. But you will not use heart attack word in your exam, you will use the word myocardial infarction. I will repeat, the word is myocardial infarction. Myocardium means muscles of the heart. Infarction means death. Okay, infarction means death, so death of the muscles of the heart. Okay, so that's myocardial infarction, biological term for heart attack. Heart sounds, if you hear with the help of stethoscope put here, you will be able to hear two heart sounds, lub, dub. So it is lub and dub. Now what is cause of lub? Lub is the first heart sound. Remember children, when ventricles contract, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves shut. When ventricles contract, the tricuspid and bicuspid valves shut, and they will produce the first heart sound called lub. Okay, now second heart sound, dub. When ventricles relax or when atria contract, the semilunar valves, which were at the opening of aorta and pulmonary artery into the ventricles. So when ventricles relax or when atria contract, the semilunar valves shut, and when semilunar valves shut, it will produce second heart sound, which is called dub. So lub by closure of bicuspid and tricuspid valves, and dub due to closure of semilunar valves. Cardiac cycle, contraction of any chamber of the heart is called systole, and relaxation of any chamber of the heart is called diastole. So when atria contract, it is called atrial systole. When ventricles contract, it's called ventricular systole. So ventricles relax, it is called ventricular diastole. So remember,